Meow. 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 There we go. Now we're starting to get some people in there. Hello, everyone. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The second I get down here and start getting ready to do a live stream, this guy's down here because he knows the kitty treats are coming. We actually kind of had to delay the start a little bit because I realized I used up the last of the kitty treats last night, so I had to go to the store and get some more. Hello, Cameron. Hello, Tina. Hello, PDXer. Hello, Ray, Tim, Janet, Dandelion, Linda, Nancy. Hi, everyone. Starting to get a few people popping in here now, including this guy who's staying just out of camera shot here. Playing Mr. Coy here. Yeah, Rip Neil Peart. That was shocking, wasn't it? What's the weather like down here? It's cold here today. It's like in the 40s. But we got had a little rainstorm blow through last night. It was weird because it was like 70 degrees before the storm blew through, and then it rained for I don't know hour and a half, and got up this morning. It was in the mid 30s, cold. Yeah, it was sad about Neil. Hello, Tracy. See. Yeah, we had a couple of tornado watches around here last night too. My weather radio was going off all night, so you got anything you want to add? Huh? Guess not. Have I ever thought about metal detecting? No, not in any real serious way. I mean, I guess I've seen people do it. I think I even did it once or twice when I was a kid, but um, I don't know. Never really thought about it. I think if there was a real good chance of finding something, maybe. But yeah, those domed houses are really interesting. That was weird because, like I said, I was just looking for stuff to um, looking for kind of an interesting roadside attraction. And I found that, and then I started looking, okay, where is this, online? Usually what I like to do is I like to pull it up on like Street View and kind of see the area around it. And all of a sudden I saw all the rest of this. It's like, whoa, there's more to it than this weird little caterpillar. And so I decided that, I wanted to go check it out, and actually the all the dome buildings that was more interesting to me than even the caterpillar. The caterpillar, it was almost something I could have just left out. Love the restaurant vlogs, awesome. So you're going to get two of those in the next 3 days because the video that goes tonight is a restaurant vlog, and the one I just got back from doing today was a restaurant vlog. So tonight and I guess Monday night you'll be getting restaurant vlogs. The only dome I got inside of was that picnic thing, that kind of picnic gazebo thing that was out there. Didn't really get this. The rest of them seemed to be actual real houses, and there were people living in there, and so didn't get a chance to get inside of them. But I'm sure they're probably all very similar to, that gazebo thing. It's just kind of a round interior surface. Now, uh, I did look of them up on the internet afterwards, and there's a lot of floor plans, including some that have a lot of space. They're relatively cheap to make, and I saw one that had like 4,000 square feet of space, and like 8 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms or something like that. And it was pretty cool. Yeah, Darwin the Gorilla. That really blew me away because it was literally just 2 blocks away from the Cottonland Castle that I did about a month ago. And when I drove away from the Cottonland Castle initially, it kind of surprised me that I didn't see it because I drove right past that. Thanks. I'm glad you liked the JFK video. Yeah, that came together really well. I was actually pleased with how well that came out because there was so much there that I learned that I'd never seen before or seen anybody else do. Because I'd never heard anyone go through and you know talk about the whole path that Oswald took, and then some of the things I got to do there were really cool. Going into the cell that he was in, going into the garage where he was killed. Right, I rode in the elevator that he was taken down to the garage from. So that was really interesting. Oh, too bad you lost your internet, but glad you're back. Hi, Julia. Yeah, Dave's doing good. Got done with my restaurant vlog this morning, and now doing a live stream. How do the cats get along with Jaw? Not very well. I was actually surprised. Bite and Nibble were both kind of downstairs when Jordan and Jaw were here, which normally wouldn't have happened. They usually used to stay up in their room, but they got a little bit more, you know, comfortable. I think seeing Jordan when he was here for like 10 days straight. But they wouldn't have done that before, so that was good. Yeah, it was good to see Jaw. Jaw's a good boy. Well, I think Jaw was a big part of the reason that Bite and Nibble became a little bit more confident coming downstairs. Because in the past, what would happen is every encounter Jaw's had with cats, the cats want to play with him. And so Jaw's first instinct is to chase. And of course, then Bite and Nibble just run back upstairs, and that's the end of that. But but this time, bye Bite. But this time, Jaw just kind of stayed put, and so that I think enabled Bite and Nibble to be a little bit more comfortable coming down and wandering around. It's funny though. Sometimes Jaw would be sitting on my lap when the cats would come down. They wouldn't know what to do, so they'd go over and fish for attention from Jordan, and then Jaw would get all jealous, and Jaw would have to go back to Jordan, and then the cats would come to me. Oh, thanks for thinking I look happy and healthy. I am happier here. I don't know about healthier, but I'm really happy here. So it's a good thing. That's sort of the reason I've been doing some of these live streams a little earlier too, is so that those of you over in Europe don't have to be up at like midnight to watch them. Yeah, I don't know which recipe did you send me, Todd? Because I just kind of what I do is when I get them in the email, I sometimes wait until there's 4 or 5 of them in the email, and then what I do is I kind of move them all into a folder called recipes on one of my hard drives, and then when I need something that I want to do, it's like, okay, well, let's do this one. This looks good, and so I did a mass moving yesterday of all the stuff off of there. So unless you send it like in the last 12 hours or so. Tamale pie. Okay, I'll have to go refresh my memory. A lot of times, what it does, is when it comes to doing a recipe vlog, is uh, I'll just look for something that says, "Oh wow, that looks really good," and I'm in the mood for that, and so you know, that's kind of how that all happens. Thank you, Laura. Appreciate that. That's really nice of you. Yeah, tamale pie definitely sounds like something I might try. It's often a matter of like I said, what I'm in the mood for, and also what it is I think I can do. Because I mean, okay, I can cook, but there's a few things that maybe intimidate me a little bit. Yeah, the weather was pretty interesting last night. We got, I think, about an inch of rain here, and it rained for a couple hours, so that was nice. It wasn't really ever really hard, but we got tornado warnings all night. Well, probably into the late evening. Probably they ended about 10 o'clock, I think. They seemed to be more geared towards what was happening up in like Dallas area and north of Dallas. That's cool. Gotta go out and take care of the doggy, Dandy. So go do that. We'll be on here for a while though. I just started. We're only 12 minutes into this. I usually go for 2 hours. So if you get a chance, stop back in again. Oh yeah, I wake up sometimes in the morning with back pain too. Yeah, they're saying that this is kind of a dry winter so far here in Texas. I don't know. I don't have anything to compare it with, so you know, all I can do is compare it to what happens in California, and this has been a nice wet winter, compared to what we usually get in California. 2 inches of rain in Indiana, or 4 inches of rain, 2 days of rain. That's nice. Any pick for the 49ers Vikings playoff game? No, not really. I don't follow football, so I wouldn't even be able to make an educated guess. What was my favorite thing at the Texas Ranger Museum? I think I liked seeing a lot of the old firearms. They had there were a couple places there where they had like hands-on exhibits, like where you could pick up an old style Colt 45 and hold it in your hand. And man, that thing's a lot heavier than you think it is. You wonder how people can draw those and not end up throwing it. I think it'd be fun to see a little snow, down here. I suppose I'm told it happens sometimes, but it's very infrequent. However often it happens, though, it happens more often than it did in California, at least where I lived in California. Hot in West Virginia. Okay. Well, you may get this storm system that's coming through. That may change things. Yeah, Jordan and Jaw left a couple days ago. In fact, Jordan did a live stream about 2 days ago, right after he got home. So is that vodka? I wish. Yeah, you'd know if it was because I'd start slurring my speech as a live stream went on. That'd be funny. No, it's just water. Hi, Dougie from San Juan Capistrano. I've been there a number of times. I used to live up in North Orange County, so that isn't too far away from there. Went to San Diego a lot, so drove by it a bunch of times. But I've even visited a few times. I have not tried out the new Instant Pot yet. I will at some point. I want to make sure I understand a little bit how it works um, before I try too much. I did buy a couple of cookbooks that are geared specifically to the Instant Pot, so I may try some of those at some point. I want to be a little bit more comfortable though before I share any of that on the videos. I'll probably do something just play around with it a little bit myself, get familiar with it before I make a fool out of myself and have it explode on camera or something like that. Do I miss California? No, not really. It's funny. I was listening to Jordan, and he was saying in his live stream the other day that he's just not really into Texas. I'm not really into California. I think what goes on is what you grow up with. You kind of want to get away from. And Jordan kind of grew up in kind of a rural part of Ohio, so moving out of that and going to Hollywood made a lot of sense for him. And it's the opposite with me. I grew up in California, and I'm just over that. I haven't seen any recipes for the Instant Pot on YouTube, but I bet you there are a bunch of them. Like I said, I went and bought a couple of cookbooks on the subject, and I'm gonna kind of plow through those and see what's there and see what I can figure out because I do want to start using it. No kitty treats unless you come on camera. Come on, just gonna sit there and stare at me? Is that how it's gonna be? That kitty treat's not gonna eat itself. That's really the only reason you come down here, isn't it? Because I dish out the kitty treats. One of these days, you're gonna teach your sister how to do this. Get her to come down, and she could get some kitty treats too. But then you'd have to share too. That's why you're never gonna do it, right? Okay, well that's enough for now. You're too fat already. Let's see, what have I missed here? There's a cheesecake recipe, huh? Okay. Yeah, it's weird how popular the instant pots have become. It was funny because when I was going to buy mine, um, as we were going into the store, there was a guy coming out and he had one in his hand. And it's like, oh, it's good to know. I said to him, oh, it's good to know that they have those in there because that's what we're coming to get too. And he had like an 8 quart one, and I wanted a 10 quart. And he says, oh yeah, they got those in there. Turkey leg is a great instant pot, really treat. I'll have to remember that. Yeah, that's sort of my kind of my thing too, Tim. Fortunately, I could move. I had, lived in my house for a long time and built up some equity, so that enabled me to get out. You see my introduction, you think of a poem you once heard. Okay, that's cool. Oh, you're not talking to me, you're talking to Tim. Okay, sorry, I got to read the whole thing here. Yeah, I am enjoying the new camera. The new camera is working out well. I still got a few things I got to learn about it. I did a recipe vlog yesterday and had a little problem because apparently there's a limit to how long an individual video clip can be. You can't just go in there and run a 30 or 40-minute clip. The camera maxes out at a certain point, and that's as far as you go. And that's and unfortunately, yesterday I was doing a scene. You know how sometimes on my recipe vlogs I'll do a scene where I'll do like a really, really long extended scene, and then I'll do a time lapse and compress it to make time go quicker. And I tried doing that yesterday, and rather than just the camera shutting off at a certain point, it just says if you go too long, the file turns into nothing, and so you end up with a file on your hard drive that has zero length, which is weird. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you, Tim. I will definitely appreciate quiet life more. I appreciate it now, I really do, and I love the fact that there's no traffic. In fact, when I was traveling around, with Jordan over the past couple of weeks, we went to Austin, we went to Dallas, and it's just oh, I remember why I hate the traffic. I heard that the fires in Australia were mostly caused by human beings starting them. And I think there's a lot of things that you can do to minimize the fire, uh, but they don't do them for environmental reasons, and I think sometimes they get a little crazy with that. We don't want to trim the brush because it's habitat for animals. It's like, well, what happens when the habitat catches on fire? All those animals burn. Yeah, we got to see a lot of fun things in our travels. And I mean, Jordan's got like a month worth of videos up now. He doesn't need to do anything until next month because he did stuff for he did 2 3 videos a day while he was here. Hi Peg, how are you? Yeah, Bite is crawling behind the couch over there. Hi Jan, how are you? Hi Bite, how are you? Meow. That's all. That's your answer to everything. Meow. I have seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Jordan decided it was time I see that, and he bought me a copy of it. So yeah, we watched that about a week ago. I like it. It's a great movie. I've heard a lot of people didn't like it because of the ending, but they think it's disrespectful to Sharon Tate. It's like I keep thinking to myself, well, what ending would Sharon Tate have liked? I think Sharon Tate would have liked that ending. Any looking at houses there in Texas? I've looked, but I don't really want to do anything until I get a job and find out where specifically I'm going to be. Um, but I have looked around. There's some nice houses around here that are very reasonably priced. So yeah, PDXer. I know that guy and his dog was following me all over the place. He appeared in a bunch of my videos. I don't even know where he came from. I think he's that troll that I keep facing. Hey, buddy. Ever have any scary things happening when I was driving floats at Disney? Yeah, usually it's some parent that like wants to push their kid out in front of the float for that great photo op. I don't think a lot of these people realize how poor the visibility is. There've been scary things like that. There was a time where I was actually escorting a float, and a kid came from behind me, ran between me and the float, ran right to the front of the float, darted right in front of the float, and it just happened so fast there wasn't any time to do anything about it. If that driver hadn't seen and slammed on the brakes, who knows what would have happened. Been watching Disney World videos and you want to go back so bad. Yeah, I think the scariest float thing I've ever seen was at Disney World where they had a float that actually caught on fire on the parade route. Do I speak Spanish? No. Limit of my Spanish is dos cerveza. I recovered pretty quick from the illness, and I don't know where I got it. I suspect I probably got it on the plane because it was about 2 days after that I had it, and I was worried about Jordan getting it too, but he didn't appear to. So, and I was over it real quick too. It was one bad day, and then I was recovering pretty quick after that. How are my parents doing? Well, my dad's back in the hospital again, so we got that going. But I think he's really quickly mending this time. What ended up happening? We're not sure exactly what the cause was. I suspect it's possible that maybe he had a little issue with his medicine, um, and maybe undertook or overtook something, and everything kind of got knocked out of whack. And what was going on is he was like really lethargic and incoherent for a day or so, and he was just laying, just staying in bed all the time and wasn't eating. He wasn't taking his medication. And my mom finally gave him an ultimatum. Said, "Hey, you either get up, get out of bed, and start eating, start taking your medication again by a certain time, or I'm calling the paramedics. We're taking you back to the hospital." And he didn't, and she did. So he's been in for a couple of days. But I talked to him uh, just recently, and he definitely sounds better. I talked to him the night they admitted him into the hospital, and he was really incoherent. And that was well, it was weird when they took him to the hospital. They couldn't take him to the hospital that he normally goes to because they took his blood pressure and said it was so low that they didn't want to waste time taking him to a hospital that was further away. So they took him to one that was really close, but that his own personal doctor didn't have residency rights to, and they kept him there for a couple of days, and then they discharged him. And my mom took him over to the regular hospital he goes to, and that's where he is now. And I talked to him the night they admitted him there, and he was still really incoherent, and not very talkative and all that. But I talked to him the next morning, and he was a world better. He was a lot better. So whatever it was, they got a handle on it. Yeah, we're hoping he'll be out of the hospital real quick. Thanks, Nada. I'm glad you watch my videos. I see your comments all the time. I like reading them. Yeah, cat's back. Hey, bye. I know I asked you this before, but you got anything to add to that? Huh? Something more than meow? And something more than purr? I don't know if you can hear him, but his motor's running. Yeah, my parents have decided on the place that they're going to move into. It was the first place we visited, the place I couldn't show you the video for, because it was someone else's apartment. It just turns out this particular place that they're going had three of the floor plan that they really wanted, and that was it in the whole complex. And it just turns out that one of them is becoming available at the first of the month. So I think they're gonna be into the new place, in early February, which is good. I think right now what they're gonna do is they're gonna keep the house and just live at the apartment for a while, or live at the apartment and sell the house kind of gradually as time goes by. They got to do a lot of downsizing of stuff because they've been collecting stuff for 54 years. They've been in that place, so. Yeah, that toy museum was really interesting. That was just kind of a last minute thing. Uh, Jordan had a whole bunch of little things he wanted to do in Austin that day, and none of them were really things that I could do because I don't like to, duplicate what he's doing in a video too much because my videos come out earlier than his do because I'm not a month ahead like he is sometimes, and so it kind of acts as a spoiler, if I do it and then he does it. And so we tried not to do a whole bunch of them. And when we were in Austin, a lot of the stuff, was right down in town there. And parking is horrible in downtown Austin. And so what ended up happening is I would often just let him out, let him do his thing, and I'd just like drive around the block a couple times. And so there really wasn't a chance for me to get out and do anything. So when we found that toy museum, it's like, oh, okay, well, let's do that. Ew, minus 14 degrees Celsius. That doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Hello, Derek. Yeah, I got a lot of family in Minnesota. Hey, Jeff's here. Hi, Jeff. How are you doing, buddy? Yeah, Austin is a freaky place, but I don't know if I'd want to. I don't know if I'd want to live there. That's too much like what I tried to get out of, in California. What's my favorite color? I like blue. Blue's always been a favorite color of mine. Yeah, toy museum was cool, but you're right. It was very very small. I assume your cancer screening went well, right, Jeff? I mean, we knew it would, but Am I going to California? Well, not for a while, I hope. Yeah, I've been there like, what, 5 times now in the past 5 months. No, I didn't really have a lot of time to do the toy museum. At that point, we just kind of wanted to get on the road and get back home. We'd done a long day of kind of driving all over the place, doing vlogs for Jordan, and then we spent maybe an hour or so in the toy museum, and and then it was a 2 hour drive back to Waco. So we wanted to get out before the traffic got too bad. What brought me to Texas? My car. I'm sure that's not what you mean, but no, I wanted something as different from California as I could get, and I wanted something with seasons, and Texas has that, and California doesn't. I wanted something where it was a little bit more affordable, and Texas has that, and California doesn't. And I wanted something that was a little bit, easier to get away from it all. I'm somebody that could literally turn into a hermit, and you know, the idea of being able to get away from it all is really appealing. How far of a drive is it to Italy, Texas, Dome City? It was about 30 or 40 miles. It wasn't long. I think Jordan and I are about the same height. I may be a little bit taller, and I'm shrinking a little bit in my old age. That's good. I'm glad the results look like they're clear, Jeff. Yeah, yeah. Bucky's was fun. I mean, that was the second time I'd been there and vlogged that, and I think it was more fun the second time because it was just kind of fun bouncing stuff off of Jordan. I think it became a more amusing video than the first one. Yeah, that's probably about right, Crystal, because uh, Austin is about 2 hours from Waco, and it's another, what, 30, 35, 40 minutes to Italy, Texas. Guess it depends on when the I guess it depends on when you go and what kind of traffic you run into. Gas prices, that's another good reason for leaving California. It's four and a quarter, $4.50 a gallon. I've been paying regularly, two ten, 2.15 a gallon. I live that. I love that. Yeah, we were thinking about maybe going to Waxahachie, but didn't happen. Maybe next time. I tried a Whataburger once when I got into town. I was really disappointed with it. I don't know. Maybe I just had a bad experience or something, but there's a lot of overlap, I think, between a hermit and an introvert. An introvert is just someone who doesn't like to be around people that much, and a hermit is someone who actually kind of goes to great lengths to move away from people, um, and be out in the middle of nowhere. And that's sort of me. I could totally see myself doing that. Yeah, I don't really need any more reasons to find out why to leave LA. I got enough reasons for myself. Yeah, maybe next time I go to Bucky's, Jeff, I'll pick you up a fridge magnet. There were a few of them there. Yeah, I know. You're right, Nancy. I always kind of get a laugh when I find a Mickey Mouse because Mickey Mouse is just everywhere. I'm never going to actually truly escape the mouse. Yeah, I was commenting. Somebody mentioned that on one of the videos today too. And I said, well, there's a Beverly Hills in here in Waco. What are rent prices? The only thing I can really comment on is what I'm paying here, and what I'm paying here is substantially less than what a similar size apartment in California would be. Okay, too many things going on here. I got to roll back here and see what I'm missing. You love the weather in California? Yeah, I mean that's fine, but I get bored with it. With the weather because it's always the same. That's what gets frustrating. Have I met any interesting people? A few, yeah. I've made a few friends around here. Let's see, sorry. Did I have bad weather? Yeah, we had a little rain last night, so it was. Well, I mean, it wasn't really as bad as it was like in Dallas. I guess they had like tornado warnings down there. We had a nice electrical storm though. It was freaking out the cats, which was interesting. Um, Thank you, Jeff Kidd. Thank you, Dandelion, for the super chats. I appreciate that. You're coming in faster than I can. Oh, and thank you again, Jeff. Appreciate that. Am I familiar with the Danny Lawkins story? No, I'm not. Um, if it's interesting, though, maybe I'll look it up and see what it is. I don't know anything about it, but if there's something in Garden Grove, that'd be interesting. Sorry, I'm kind of catching up on some of the things here. A whole bunch of things like blasted by me all at once here, so I got to catch up. Hi, Diane Miller. How are you? Did Adam the Woo come by me in Waco? Not that I'm aware of. How are the plants doing? Plants are doing all right. I think I might be losing the cactus. I don't know how well it's dealing with the cold, but everything else seems to be doing well. The plumeria, they drop their leaves every winter anyway. And the maple tree, it dropped its leaves, which I think is really the first time it's done that because it's such a young tree. But palm trees are doing good. They're pretty rugged. Yeah, I know. I'm going to do David Koresh at some point in the Branch Davidian. That's just a few miles from here. I know it seems like probably something I should have done by now. It's one of like three things that that people think of when they think of Waco, Texas. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm going to leave the lights up or not. Maybe, maybe not. Just hearing the words Garden Grove reminds you of Sublime. It's funny. It reminds me of the band Offspring. Found out a number of years ago that the singer, guitar player, and bass player went to high school with me. They're in my yearbook. Yeah, I'll definitely hit the Branch Davidian thing. I don't know. It just seemed like it was a really obvious thing. So I don't know. I might hit it at some point. I think when Jordan said he was coming to when Jordan told Adam the Woo that he was coming here, Adam asked, "Are you going to do the Branch Davidians?" And Jordan said, "No, I'm not going to do that." But I'll hit it at some point. Gotta get closer here. I get too far away and my glasses stop working. Yeah, there's like a little indent in the couch here that Mike sleeps in. And actually, the indent was created by Jaw because Jaw was the first one to discover that. And and then when Bite saw Jaw doing it, then he took it up. There's actually one here too. You can kind of see where the couch is kind of where the back is kind of indented in. Yeah, that's from years of cats and dogs sleeping there. Yeah, I have taken you to a few museums, but yeah, I'll probably hit some more at some point. I like history more than like museums. Like art museums, although they're kind of fun too. But on the other hand, sometimes they're really reluctant to let you film in there. Am I enjoying the new camera? Yeah, the new camera's great. I got it right here. For those of you who were wondering, yeah, this is it right here, and it's been I'm still kind of learning how to use it. There's a few quirks to it that I gotta kind of remember. There's a file limit size when you're recording video, and it won't let you go any larger than that. And if you do, it doesn't just stop recording; it actually deletes the file. So that's a little frustrating. I was doing a restaurant vlog yesterday, or not a restaurant, a Bites Nibble vlog yesterday, and I was going to do one of those segments where I shot like an extended scene, and then I was going to speed it up with time lapse. And when I got to the point where I was ready to do that, the scene was gone. So yeah, just got to remember that in the future. Yeah, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that this would be a good place for kitties to sleep. If it was a little narrower of a backrest or something, I'm sure you probably couldn't do that. But it's pretty thick, and so it fluffs out pretty well, and doesn't surprise me. Cats like to kind of be at an elevated, have an elevated look over things anyway. So did I get over the cold? Yeah, the cold was bad for one day, and then it was a couple of days where I had like runny nose and coughing and stuff like that, but it's done now. Oh, Jordan's here. Huh. Yeah, maybe it's a setting then that I got to go dig into. But what I did is I did like a 15-minute scene, and when I got to the point where I was ready to edit it, there was a file there, but it had zero file size. So I don't know. Maybe I ought to take another look at the file too. Maybe there's just something weird because you do all your editing on your cell phone. Maybe it's a little different too. No, I think Jaw just sits on his lap. It's possible that it is defective. I don't know. I'm going to play with it a little bit more and see if I can figure out what's going on. Like I said, when I tried pulling the file off of the card and dragging it onto my hard drive, it just said it was a file size of zero. So you know, like I said, maybe it's just the file's actually there, and maybe there's just something wrong with the file size. I didn't actually try loading the file in. I just saw that there were a couple of files that had zero size, and didn't drag them in. But yeah, I'll take a closer look at it. I still got all those files, so it's crazy. You probably laugh at me, but I've actually got every raw file from every vlog I've shot still on the hard drive. That's the beauty of having like a big, massive USB drive. Is you can I got like everything on that. I got every video I've recorded, plus all the raw files, plus every episode of Jordan's vlogs too is stored on that hard drive. Jah and the Kitties did a little bit better this time, but they still didn't really make any direct contact. I think Jaw is getting to the point where he understands that the kitties really aren't going to be friends with him. You know, I think every cat that Jordan has or that Jaw has come into contact with wants to play with him, and Bite and Nibble are not that way. It's a 5 terabyte, Jeff, but I got like 3 or 4 external hard drives hanging on there. One of them is actually Jordan's drive because I don't know, a few years ago, you know, he asked me to archive all of his episodes, and he got a hard drive and gave it to me basically to store all that. So I got like a 5 terabyte drive for Jordan's stuff. I got a 5 terabyte for mine, and I got like a 1 and a 2 terabyte for just other stuff. You know, that's how it is. I can you know, pull out stuff from, you know, years and decades ago, and you know, Jordan's always kind of counted on me to be his archive, and that's how I can pull out, you know, albums and pictures he shot years ago, and you know, websites and all that stuff that I've done for him over the years. Did you respond to your name, Bite? Huh? You're not responding now. You're just staring at the wall, aren't you? You like the Christmas lights, don't you? But I know the second I walk away, you're going to start biting them, aren't you? And you're going to end up just like that cat on Christmas Vacation. Use up all 9 of those lives in one shot here. Yeah, try. Yeah, 2 terabytes is an awful lot to fill up, but you know, try doing you know, a bunch of high definition videos. It goes fast. What's the best format to rip to DVD? You know, MP4 is good. Certain programs have something proprietary, you know, that you can do that's specifically designed for DVD. I think it's actually the actual MPEG compression because DVD is MPEG 2 video, and so that's, you know, that's the native format that it goes into. And I think MP4 goes a little bit further, you know, into compression. I bet you your barbecue videos are adding up. Like I said, I've got, you know, what, 12, however many episodes Jordan has. I have that many of his videos backed up, um, and of course I have all of mine and all the support files and all that. You know, that's the beauty though, is at some point I can delete all that stuff, you know, because I probably won't need it at some point. Nibble's annoyed look is precious. Yeah, yeah, it is, isn't it? That's her. Get that camera out of my face or I'm going to kill you look. Texas Roadhouse food is good. I've been there twice now and had good results both times. Yeah, I'm still looking in the job front. Haven't really done a lot in the past couple of weeks because, you know, one, I was in California around Christmas and then came back and spent about 10 days with Jordan. But I want to get going on that again. They haven't lost any of Jordan's videos, but there've been a couple of them that they've well, let's just say caused problems with. Do I put up a Christmas tree? No, I don't. Primarily because I know if I did, these guys would be up at the top of it and they'd be knocking it over and they'd be knocking Christmas ornaments off of it. Mostly when I do decorating, it's just outside. Make an upside down one. Yeah, I've heard of people doing that. Somebody sent me a link on one of the comments too, where they have a Christmas tree. It's a half a Christmas tree that you hang on the wall, and yeah, I suppose that's an option too. I don't know. Even when I didn't have cats, I wasn't really one for a Christmas tree inside. I never had one at all when I was in the house in California. I had when I was in the apartment before I moved into a house. I had like 16-foot tall vaulted ceilings, and so I'd buy like 12 or 14 foot tall Christmas trees then. But that was really before I had cats, so I keep the decorations outside. I gotta come over and be on this side, huh? Had your right profile, now we're gonna get your left profile. Don't say you're not mugging for the camera. We know what you're doing. No, none of my neighbors decorated at all. There were a few houses around that had some decorations up, but there was nothing here in the apartment complex except for me. Yeah, see that, and that's exactly why I don't do that, Shamrock Kitty, is because I know that a minute after the tree is up, these guys are going to be at the top of it, and a minute later, the tree is going to be laying on the ground. That's just who you guys are, aren't you? It's probably my own fault for building you those shelves and getting you used to being up high. That's another thing, Diane. I know that these guys would be eating the tree, and then there's going to be, you know, pine tree scented vomit all over the house. That's another reason for keeping that. Your dogs would pee on the tree. Yeah, yeah. I suppose that's an issue too. I think that's part of the reason why I kind of want to get a single story house too, is so I can put Christmas tree or Christmas lights on the house without having to get the 27-foot extension ladder out. I'm getting to the point where I might be a little beyond that too. Oh, so Disney World does marathons too. I know that Disneyland does it, and it's always a pain in the neck when they do it for the employees because we can't get into any of the parking places and all that stuff. Well, I'm also getting to the point, VNA, where I think that I'm tired of running up and down stairs, and I'm getting to the age right now where I could potentially you know have some issues if I fell or something like that. So I would kind of like to get beyond that. I had stairs in the house, have stairs in the apartment and all that, but I think when I do get a new house, I want it to be a single story house. Tornado warnings in Tennessee. Oh yeah, that's no fun. Would I ever do a dessert type of cooking vlog? Yeah, yeah. Basically the only thing is it's got to be something I think I can do, and it's got to be something that looks good. And Those are the things. Sometimes I get some recipes and it's like, oh yeah, that doesn't seem very appetizing. So sometimes that's what happens. Sometimes I look at it and say, yeah, that might be a little beyond me. So, but so far I've been able to find a bunch of things that look and sound good, and are reasonably easy to do. So, have a tree with cat treats on it. Yeah, that's exactly what these big tubs of lard need is more cat treats. Yeah, that's what you need, right? Because an 18-pound cat isn't enough. You need to be a 21-pound cat, don't you? I still have to deal with the pine tree scented vomit all over the house. So, are you purring, huh? Yes, you are. Yeah, no one's ever going to accuse me of starving these guys. Are you a big fat pudgy ball of lard there, huh? Yes, you are. How old are the kitties? What are they? They got to be coming up on 12 now, right? Is that how old you are? We're not sure exactly because they were strays when I got them, but they predicted they were about 5 weeks old when I got them. I got them like in April, so yeah, they'll be 12, I think, in like mid-March. Reminds me of what Cartman used to say on South Park. I'm not fat. I'm just big boned. No, Mike, you're fat. Accept it. Yeah, maybe maybe I could hit the Bluebell ice cream plant. That'd be fun. I don't know. I don't know where it is. Yeah, he loves treats and he loves sleeping most of the day too, don't you? Yeah, I think someone threw these guys into my backyard when they were babies. I can't figure out how two 5-week-old kittens would escape their litter and end up in my backyard together unless they were abandoned back there. So I don't know. They're mine now, aren't you? You see that? Viennese says you have a nice butt. Yeah, that's the side he always shows me too. So I miss the pond. The pond was kind of fun, but it was a lot of work to keep up with. So I probably wouldn't do it again unless it was like a natural pond, something that I didn't have to keep up with. Because if you didn't keep on top of it, then you end up, just it starts looking like a swamp, and it gets really gross in there. Last time I saw Flash was when I was home for Christmas, and she was hibernating. So I'm assuming she's still doing that. Yeah, I never could really keep the pond, clear. It was always an issue of having to get in there and sweep the algae off of the bottom, and it was a mess. So it was fun to have it, and I loved being able to go out on the patio at night and watch the fish. And the sound of the water was really refreshing and really soothing and all that. But it was also a lot of work. I don't think there were any tornadoes around Waco. They seem to be more north of us. I heard a tornado warning come over the weather radio last night from West Texas, and that's about 30 miles from here. But that's the closest that they got. Uh, when my parents moved, my friend Beth is offered to take care of Flash until she can come here. And if that doesn't work, I also have another friend who's a biology teacher who I bet you would babysit for a while. Uh, he's taken care of her on a couple of occasions. I tried to breed her once, and he had other tortoises, and we tried, but never got anything out of it. Had a tornado warning in San Antonio, huh? That's further south than I would have figured, because everything I heard was north of me. Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for stopping in. Look who's back. Because you're not fat enough, are you? You don't need to lunge at it. You're not a shark. Oh, I see Nibbles coming down now too. Let's see if we can coax her up here. That would be very interesting. You got to come up here, Nibble, if you're going to get a kitty treat. Every time she sees Bite get a mouthful, though, she's very curious. She's gotten to the point over the last few weeks that she's started hopping up on the lazy boy chair and actually sitting on my stomach and eating right out of my hand. So I was hoping one of these days we'd get her to come up here too, but yeah, she just ran off. Oh, now she's back again. Hi, Nibble. You want one too? Huh? Huh? You want one too? And she took one out of my hand, but I don't know if I'm going to get her to come up here. Come on, Nibble. You want a kitty treat? No, she's going to play. She's going to play shy today. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Boy, you're really helping with the kitty treats today. Thank you very much. Why can't Flash live in an apartment? I don't have enough of a backyard, and since she's cold-blooded, she needs an area where she can get in the sun in order to warm up. And it's also kind of dangerous. It's too unlevel in the backyard. There's too many places she could fall. So yeah, I have a postage stamp of a backyard, so it just wouldn't work for her. If I had a bigger backyard, that'd be a different thing. Or some enclosed area where I could put her where she'd be safe. That'd be great. But Yeah, I think you came in later, but I had to go, Jeff, but I had to go and buy some more kitty treats because I realized I was getting ready to do the live stream and I realized, oh, nuts, I gave the cats the last of their kitty treats last night, so I had to go get some. That was why it was a little, I was a little late starting my live stream. I told everyone I'd start probably about 2:30 or so, and it was actually almost quarter to three before I started. Yeah, it was a little overcast here this morning. But it cleared up and it was actually really windy. It's still cold outside though. It's like out in the 40s. So I'm actually glad to be inside where it's reasonably warm in here. Yeah, Jeff buys the treats for Bite and Nibble. Yeah, that's cool. They appreciate that. Well, maybe they don't, but I do. Yeah, so today's kitty treat segments are all dedicated to Jeff. Yeah, I suppose it's going to be raining you know, in the south now for the next day or so, because that's the storm we had here. They were saying what happened is that the jet stream dipped down really far, and that's what brought our rain. And I suppose as that kind of moves across, you know, the that will um, move it into the south. What happened with Jordan and Amy? It's not really my place to say. If Jordan wants to share that, he will. Okay, thanks for stopping in, Deeps. Have a good dinner. Yep, I got another one going up tonight. It's a restaurant vlog, so it's my last vlog with Jordan. Yeah, yeah, Bite's hanging out with a bear, and I wish I could show you, but Nibble's right over there. What I got to do is like get like a little mirror so I can aim it. Actually, maybe we can do it with the camera here. Yeah, now she's going back upstairs again. Never mind. She's shy. Yeah, when if Jordan wants to say something on that, then he'll comment on it. Yeah, Nibble's right there right now. Yeah, that's really what I'm waiting for, John, is to find a job here in Waco. Uh, it doesn't even really need to be a really good job. It just needs to be something that will provide income. Because the beauty is, I actually have the money to buy a house. I can buy a pretty decent house for the profits from my house in California. So I just want to find, a good job that'll basically support my monthly expenses because I won't need to pay a mortgage or anything like that because I ought to be able to just pay cash. And so all I got to do is pay for my food and my utilities, and so that won't be that hard to do. Okay, yeah, I understand, Diane, sorry. Uh, yeah, the battery. When the battery says it's time to go, it's time to go. Yeah. And for the same reason, I won't say anything either. I mean, I don't know the whole story anyway, so yeah, taxes. That's true. There'll be a little of that too. But see, I'm thinking if I can get like a $10 or $12 an hour job, that will probably be enough. As long as it's full time and regular. That was one of the things. I was making decent money at Disney, but the big problem I had was that it was really inconsistent with the hours. There are times where the hours would drop to zero. After the Christmas season last year, my hours dropped to zero, and I didn't work any time from about mid-January until I left the company in July. In fact, I moved away in May, and they didn't even realize I wasn't there until I quit in July. So yeah, health insurance too. You're right. Yeah, that was one of the big factors in picking Texas too, John, was the cost of living was so low. Well, the issue wasn't necessarily that Disney is inconsistent with the hours because it depends on the department you're in. If you're in like janitorial or food services or attractions or any of that stuff, it's always going to be more hours than you can do. But I was in parades, and so if they stopped doing the parades, then there were no hours, and they decided in 2019 that there wasn't going to be any parades in California Adventure, and so my hours went to nothing. And so that was because they had a few Christmas shows that they did, and so I was getting good hours then. But as soon as the Christmas season was over, that was it, and it dried up, and it went literally to zero. From the end of Christmas until I quit in July, I didn't get 1 hour. Yeah, I agree, Jennifer. That's when you are public figure, doing vlogging or something like that, you do have to have a little private life. So I totally respect that, and I understand Jordan's wanting to do that too. Well, I may get rid of the recliner at some point, but I'll replace it with another one. I'm never going to be without a recliner. That's just too versatile. It's too comfortable for watching TV. Sometimes when I have a bad back at night, it's actually more comfortable to sleep in that than it is to sleep in my bed. So yeah, I know I'll always have a recliner, and that one's relatively new too because I bought it when I moved here. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. I really hope that happens. Like I said, I got to really get serious about that now. And now that the holidays are over, holiday season is a bad time to be job searching because, it's just nobody's hiring at that point. If all the hiring that they are doing around the holidays is, seasonal. So actually, Disney did try and to offload us into other departments, but at that point, I'd already decided I was leaving Disney, I was leaving California, and so I didn't take any of that. And basically, I just spent the next 4 months getting the house ready to sell. I'd already been working hard on that for a while anyway, because I really decided you know the previous summer, so like you know, 16 months ago, I decided I'm leaving. I'm leaving Disney. I'm leaving Disney. I'm leaving California. And so at that point, I was already starting to figure out, okay, what do I got to do to get the house sellable? Because I knew I was going to have to repaint because I had some really weird stuff painted on the roofs and on the roof on the ceiling of the house, and I knew that was going to be something that wasn't going to work out. I painted the house for me, but now it had to be for someone else, and I spent that time, preparing to sell the house because that had to happen. I had a lot of work to do. I'd been in that place for 21 years, and I had a lot of junk in there, had to be packed up, and had a bunch of repairs I had to do. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to be a Jungle Cruise skipper though, just because it would get old telling the same jokes every day. I mean, they encourage you to mix it up a little bit, but if I get out there and just do it once in a while, it'd be fun. But doing it, every 10 minutes for all day, every day, that would get old after a while. Hello, Shirley. Welcome to the group. Did I ever consider moving to Disney World in Florida? No, no, no. I'm done with Disney. I don't want to. I can't imagine Timmy any better there. I was surprised that the cats had a room, but poor Jordan had to sleep on the couch. Yeah, well, even if it wasn't for the cats, he would have still probably ended up sleeping on the couch because, if I did anything, I would have turned that without the cats. I would have turned that bedroom into like a computer room or something like that. There wouldn't have been a bed in there anyway. So no worries, Shirley. I'm going to be here for another 40 minutes or so. Can you imagine how hot it is in the Walt Disney World floats? Yeah, yeah, I can because I know how hot it is in the California floats, and it's got to be worse. Plus the fact you got to deal with bigger bugs in Florida. And I've experienced that firsthand because sometimes some of the parades, will go back and forth between California and Florida, and and when the floats come to California, they've often been sitting in a warehouse somewhere that not being used. And of course, then you get them here and they're filled with spiders and stuff like that. And first thing you got to do is fumigate them. Ha ha, Jeff Kidd was just kidding. Ha ha. Bottom bum. Yeah, you're right. I can't imagine being any of those characters, especially, I mean, I know how hot, I used to work the Pixar Play Parade at Disneyland, or California Adventure, and I routinely drove the float that was dedicated to Toy Story, and I know how hot that Sully costume was. Can you imagine it's 100 degrees out and you're wearing a giant fur coat and then having to, animate? Ugh. Yeah, I really love doing the job. I mean, I loved working at Disneyland. I didn't like the way the management treated us, and you know, I didn't like the fact that I didn't have any advancement options. They just the Disney people, if they decide, I was thinking about that today, that if they like you, you can do no wrong. If they don't like you, you can do no right. And unfortunately, for some reason, I was in the later category. You've seen characters chase after people at Disney. They probably weren't characters for long. I mean, unless that was their character to do that. I mean, I've seen what the character Cruella Deville from 101 Dalmatians. I've seen her be really rude to guests, but she's being in character. So, well, actually, I don't know. This is maybe a Disney secret I'm going to let in, But they've with the Sully character on the from the Monsters Inc. movie, um, the float actually had a water cooling system that pumped cold water into a vest that the character wore. That was added later on, but yeah, we had like a cooler inside the float with like a little water pump on it, and then the hoses, and there'd be two hoses going to the Sully character, and he'd be wearing a vest that had all this tubing running around inside of it, and we'd be pumping cold water into the costume to keep the character cool. You saw Pluto chase after people and beat them up. Okay, yeah, I'm guaranteeing that person won't be Pluto for long, if they even still are. I mean, it's rude some of the things that people do too, because like you hear stories all the time of kids or even adults kicking or punching the characters, or a lot of times a lot of the little characters, Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Chipmunks, there's actually women in those costumes, even if it's a male character, and you'll have people come up and grope the characters, and it's like that's really disturbing that people do that, but it happens. And who knows what triggered Pluto? But one of the things they stress with those characters is that you don't break character. And Pluto chase going after someone, I guarantee you that person isn't Pluto anymore. Yeah, I think the characters actually make pretty decent money. Uh, just because it is such an important role. Well, even if they're just pulling his tail, that's one thing. But if they're beating on him or something like that, that even then, you don't the character doesn't do anything. That's up to you have the characters whenever they're in the park, they always have an escort, and that's the escort's responsibility to deal with that, or security. And oftentimes security is all over the place too. So you can't get away with very much in Disney. But every once in a while you run into a case where some employee has just been abused so much and they lose it. Yeah, yeah, you're right with the McGruff costume. I forgot about that, but yeah, we had like ice vests that people wore too in some of the characters. Oops, I keep taking my computer monitor here. Sorry about that. It isn't an earthquake. We don't have earthquakes here. This is just a simulation. Yeah, well, and unfortunately, a lot of times, when everybody has a cell phone camera, the one time these people lose it, it ends up all over the internet. I did audition once to do characters. I didn't even make it past the first round though. I don't have any experience doing that, so I went in completely cold, and it doesn't really surprise me that I I wasn't. Improv isn't really my strong suit anyway. I bet you I could learn to be a good whatever character I played, but it would take me working on it and getting into the role. And they want somebody that basically can hit the ground running. There were limited things I could do anyway because for every character there's size limits, and being tall like I am, there's only really a couple things there that I can do. I could do Goofy because that's my height range. I could do Beast from Beauty and the Beast. I could do Sully from Monsters Inc. And really, that's about it. They're not going to let me play. They're not going to let me play Mickey Mouse because a 6 foot 3 inch tall Mickey Mouse is going to scare the kids. What's my go-to food in Waco? The truth is, my go-to food is something I cook myself. Um, the only really reason I go out is to do restaurant vlogs, and I do enjoy doing those. And I found a number of things I really like. Um, the place I went today was very interesting. Um, but yeah, I'm not really a restaurant person normally. I don't get up in the morning and say, "Gee, I really feel like going to going out to get something to eat for dinner tonight." Yeah, no PDX or no Freddy Krueger at Disneyland. They got the thing is they got enough of their own characters. The big thing over at Disneyland is Nightmare Before Christmas. Because they own that now. Yeah, I did find a decent bear claw pastry. Yeah, and it was an interesting series of videos, dude. But the third one, yeah, we did find bear claws. I actually found two of them. So when I need bear claws, at least I know where to go. Yeah, yeah. For the princesses, yeah. I mean, every character they have like a height limit. You can't be taller than 5 feet, I think, to be Mickey, and I think it's even smaller than that. And most of the characters, you know, are in the probably 5 to 5 foot 6 inch range. It's only the really big characters that are different. What they really like is the people that are 4.5 to 5 foot. That's really kind of the most of the characters because you think most of the characters are tiny and you got Mickey, you got Minnie, you got Donald Duck, you got Chippendale, you got Pinocchio and Tinkerbell and all these characters that are really kind of tiny little characters. So yeah, I actually haven't had bear claws since I did that series of vlogs, but all right, thanks for stopping in, Tom. It was good to have you here. Yeah, well, you remember VNA, all these characters, they're really designed to interface with kids. And so you don't want to have a big character, like I said, with the exception of Goofy and Sully and Beast, which are the only things I would be able to play in the park, you know, they're all pretty small characters. You're not going to do stir fry on the grill, are you, Jeff? Because that's one of the things I don't think that'll work. Just saying. Storms are calming down. That's good. Yeah, I used to watch, The Wonderful World of Disney on TV at night. Yeah, Wonderful World of Color. That was something else too. In fact, they have that water show at California Adventure now called World of Color that was inspired by that. Oh, that's good. That's good, Jeff. I'm glad you're not going to do stir fry on the grill. That wouldn't work. Just doesn't sound like a good idea. Look at this dude mugging for the camera. He's Joe Cool. Aren't you? You're just staring at yourself on the camera, aren't you? Yeah, that's how it is. You're just too cool for school, aren't you? Have I seen live Texas Longhorns? Yes. Yeah, I was at that fair and rodeo, and they had some there. Also, we were out on the road in the past 10 days. We saw some Longhorns on ranches. So yeah, I've seen a bunch of them. They're all over. I don't know if I've ever seen a black magic or witchcraft store at Disney. I mean, they have a magic store. Yeah, I remember Lassie and Mutual of Omaha Wild Kingdom too. I don't think he wants to see what Daddy's doing. He wants to see when Daddy's going to start dishing out the kitty treats again, right? That's all you care about. You're a pig and you eat with your mouth open. Did your mom ever tell you that was naughty? Huh? Nibble's coming back too. Whenever I start dishing the treats to bite, I gotta get her used to coming up here for treats. Maybe if I can condition her to do that, maybe we can get her to join us up here too. She has gotten to the point where she comes up on the easy boy chair. So come on, Nibble. You're just such a dainty little lady. You know, when it comes to the kitty treats, it's like biting, just lunge at it here and take your finger um, if he if it gets in the way. Nibble's just kind of a little peck at it. And let's see if we can coax her out. She was right down there a minute ago. Nibble. Oh, now she's over there. Come on, Nibble. Say hi to everyone. They want to see. They want to see your pretty face. See if we can get her to pop up here. No, this one's not for you. That's for Nibble. Yeah, there she is. Maybe that's all you're going to get of her. But come on, Nibble. Look at this guy. That was Nibble's treat. Not as cute when you do it. Come on, Nibble. Got one for you too. Get up here so we get Nibble over. I don't know. Did you see her? She was there for a second. Come on, Nibble. And now we've made too much of a production out of it. Okay, there's one for you, Nibble. Oh well, we tried. You saw her for a second. All right, good to see you, Jennifer. Glad you were able to stop in. We'll be here for another 20 minutes or so. So if the opportunity comes back, pop back in again. Otherwise, well, we're now that we're kind of back into the normal, uh, you know, normal schedule now. So, we'll start doing the live streams on a weekly basis again. I love Nibble's eyes. Yeah, she's got pretty eyes. Now that I've turned the computer around, now she's back over there again. Let's see if we can get her over there without spooking her. Get the TV tray out of the way here too. Yeah, the second I move it, then yeah, well, that's how she is. Because now she's just right over here. You're just too slow, Nibble. Threw her a kitty treat, and it landed like a foot from her. And then what did she do? She let Fight run over and get it. Come on, Nibble. Not you, Bite. Yeah, maybe we'll just leave the camera like this for a minute. Maybe we'll see if we can get her to pop over here. Usually when she comes into the scene, that's what she does. She goes behind the lazy boy chair. But I think what needs to happen is I need to stop paying so much attention to her so that when she does, so then she thinks I'm ignoring her and then she'll, see, that's what ends up happening is I start ignoring her and then she kind of, moves into eye shot here, into camera shot. Does it ever snow in Waco? Um, I guess occasionally, but it's very infrequent. It gets cold enough that it could. So was that Jordan shadowing me in Italy, Texas? Yeah, yeah, it was. I've been calling him my troll. He's that troll that follows me around. Yeah, we tried. We tried, Nibble. We want everybody wants to see you, but you don't want to be seen. Yeah, Nibble's a pretty cat. Where would I like to see Jordan move when he leaves LA? I know where he's considering moving, and it'll be very cool if he does. But you're not going to get that from me. Yeah, I guess that's true. That it is kind of cool that she's come downstairs. Where do I think he'll move? I actually know where he's thinking about moving, and like I said, you're not going to hear it from me. But when he was looking at the places, he was actually sending me text messages and saying, "Oh yeah, check out this house," and he was even trying to find me a place near him. But yeah, I don't know. I think the problem with it is it'd be great if I was supporting myself on vlogging, but it's not going to be someplace where I'd be able to find a job. I can say with all certainty it's not going to be Waco, and the only reason I can say that with any certainty is because I know he's already said that he's not really a fan of Texas. Because I was watching his live stream a couple of days ago, and he was saying, "Yeah, Texas isn't really for me." Okay, thanks for stopping in, Gene. Sorry the YouTube was buffering for you. Yeah, well, like I said, yeah, he said that in his live stream that he didn't want to he didn't want to live in Texas, but you know, I think what he wants is he wants just a place that he can call his own, and then he'll just use that as his kind of central point. He'll travel all over the place and do his vlogs. Because he was saying, even if he moves out of LA, that he'd probably continue, going to the area and doing vlogs and just staying there temporarily. All right, thanks for stopping in, Jeff, and thanks for the super chats. I really appreciate that. Have a good night. Hope the stir fry turns out good. I only got about 15 or 20 more minutes in me anyway. Yeah, you'll have to call this one "Smoking in the Kitchen," Jeff. Cooking something not on the smoker. That's gonna be a nice change of pace. It's actually the first time I've heard kids outside for a while. You'd think that during the weekends and during the Christmas holidays and all that, they'd be out, but because it's actually been pretty reasonably nice weather out, except for today. Last few days have been 60s and 70s. I think it's good when the kids are outside playing. It's better than sitting at home on playing video games and stuff like that. It is good that they're out getting exercise, although sometimes they get a little noisy and rambunctious. It's frustrating when I'm like trying to take a nap in the afternoon or something like that, and I can't because the kids are screaming outside. Hi, Mama V Wolf or Mama Wolf V. Thank you, Sherry. Appreciate that. That's nice of you. Hey, you right back. Well, it's a small price to pay for living in an area, where there are kids, but like I said, I'd rather, being out there having some fun than, hanging out, playing on the computer or something like that. Cool. Thanks for stopping in, Sandy. I'll see you next time. I'll be here probably next week again. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been really happy with the subscriber rates lately. Numbers are going up really well. I've gotten like I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 new subscribers in the past few weeks. So I'm really happy with that. It's good to see my channel growing a little bit again. It's kind of stagnated for a while. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have a big lot to play on, but when you're a kid, but I got to admit the layout of this apartment is really, really well suited for kids because there's a lot of big open spaces around. So that's kind of nice. So, there's places that the kids can go where they're not, running around near the street or anything like that. So that's cool. No, Jordan went home a couple days ago, but you're going to be seeing Texas vlogs from him, I think, until the end of the month. Basically, he said, I think he's uploaded now until like the end of January. He doesn't need to do another new vlog um, until February. Although I don't think that's going to stop him. He'll continue doing new vlogs. No, I still have my California telephone number, Todd. That's about the only thing that I still have from California. Yeah, thanks. I've been debating whether to leave them up or take them down. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily have to be Christmas. It could just be kind of fun. Thank you, Greater Bilby. I appreciate the compliment. I think some of my vlogs are getting to the point where they're pretty good. So there's a few things that I've done that I've been really proud of. Wow. Kids are banging on the stairs outside, I think. Yeah, you're right. That wetland might be wet now. Yeah, I think the latest one that Jordan did was the one about Tris Speaker. I think that was the one that went up this morning. That's cool. Yeah, I hope we did get some subscribers. I mean, I don't know if it was a JFK video or if it was just Jordan being here and name checking me a lot in his vlogs because every day now when I've been in one of his vlogs, he's introducing me as escaping the mouse. So he's been good at promoting my channel and all that. So that's probably a part of it too. Thank you, Maria. I appreciate that. Always good to have the good feelings of others directed towards you. Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. It was kind of fun, Jordan and Jaw, pop up in my videos, and I know he tries to kind of stay out of the things when I'm vlogging, but you know what? I don't mind having him appear in the background, and I don't go out of my way to cut it out. So thank you, Surfer Girl 326. I appreciate that you just subscribed. How did you find me? Did you find me through Jordan? Hey, Terry's in the house. Yeah, he came right in at the end, Terry. Yeah, we're a couple minutes from ending, but that's okay. I'll put it up. I always leave my live streams up. So if I streamed any, I don't really stream a whole bunch of stuff. I'm still kind of old fashioned. I like to have the media itself. I like having the DVDs and the Blu-rays. One of the things you run into when you depend on streaming for everything is what do you do if the internet goes down? You know, I don't know. I like having a hard copy. Plus the fact, if there was maybe one place that you could go where you get every movie, every TV show, everything, that would be great. But there isn't that. You have to subscribe to 50 different services, and it's like it's almost not worth it. So Yeah, you're kind of getting ready to move, aren't you, Terry? Do they still demonetize my vlogs? Sometimes it isn't happening as much, but it's the but it's mainly the live streams that cause problems. You know, you'll look at this one, you'll look at this live stream when I post it in in a little while, and if it gets posted tonight, then it didn't get demonetized. But if it did get demonetized, you probably won't see it pop up on the until tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked to see if there is a Rome and a Paris in Texas, but there probably would be. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, it was fun to see both Jordan and Jaw. I was glad that they were coming. You know, when Jordan suggested coming a couple months ago, he said, "Yeah, could I bring Jaw?" And I said, "Well, yeah, Jaw's always welcome here." So I was glad he did. And it was fun to see them both. You're kind of moving. Is that like being kind of pregnant? Seems like you either are or you are not. Okay, so there is a Paris, Texas. I guess I've heard that. London, Texas. That doesn't surprise me. I know there's a Palestine, Texas, because that's just maybe 50 miles from here. Well, just to share a little, maybe not so open secret, DNA. Jaw loves everyone. Oh yes, Jaw's a kisser. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Yeah, but he likes everyone. Yeah, you're smart, Terry. Not don't tell anyone where you're going. No offense, but we don't do politics here. Jordan was here a little bit ago. I don't know if he's still here. He tends to check in and then check out again. Yeah, I didn't block him. I just deleted the message. If he wants to participate in the conversation, that wasn't like an obscene comment or anything like that. That's just an opinion, and we don't do politics here. So he or she is still welcome to participate if they wish. Just no politics. And I probably should be more clear about that. You know, but I just when we get there, I don't. When something like that comes across, it's always been one of my pet peeves is when businesses or anything get into politics. It's like that's stupid. It's a bad business decision because politics is really polarizing, and why would anyone do that? You're essentially saying that, hey, I don't want half of my customers. Dumb. I'm not even saying if I agree or disagree with that guy or girl. I don't even know who it was. Yeah, Jeff said, well, yeah, I guess he doesn't have all of the results yet, but he says that he's got enough experience with it that he looked at like the blood work, he looked at the X-rays, and he thinks everything looks okay. So, yeah, I think he's doing good. I guess there's an MRI, and he's still waiting for the doctor to review that. That's cool. I'm glad you stopped in, Terry. Thanks for. I mean, we're going to be done in a minute anyway. We just hit the 2 hour mark. Yeah, I think you can block users if you want. If somebody says something that's really outrageous, I can block them so they can't post here anymore. I haven't had to do that today. Uh, that one comment was the only thing I deleted. Like I said, I didn't block the user. If he or she, because I don't even know if it's a he or she, wants to participate in this, you may not have known that we just don't want, you know, you may not have known that we don't want to do politics. So yeah, I think that's true. I think you can block stuff for you, so you don't see it from certain users, but you can't block it for everyone to see it. The only two people that can do that are myself and Jordan because I made him an admin or a moderator. Yeah, the flag and the lights look good together. I like them too. I don't know. I don't know if I'll keep them up, but we'll see. Do I still get revenue from my first vlogs? When people watch them, yeah, because everything now is monetized, with the exception of the one that they demonetized. And I mean, I guess I knew that one was going to be demonetized, so just because of the subject matter. All right, thanks for stopping in, PDX. I'm glad you were here. How did the new YouTube rules affect me? They didn't really. The only thing I got to do now is every time I post a video, I got to declare whether it's made for kids or not. And I accidentally said at one point, I accidentally chose the wrong thing and said it was made for kids. And I realized right off the bat because then all of a sudden I had to there's a page where you have all your videos listed and their status and all that. And all of a sudden when I marked it as it is made for kids and I had like a limited ads option on this. I said, huh, I wonder why that happened. I went and looked. I said, oh, because I checked it made for kids. So, that's all I do now is I mark them all as not being made for kids. It doesn't necessarily mean it's adult material. It's meant it's geared towards adults. There's once you declare it, not designed for kids. Yeah, okay, here we go. All right, first troll. There we go. It took a second for that to happen, but anyway, once you declare that it's not made for kids, like in other words, it's geared towards adults, then what ends up happening is if you think that there should be an age limit where kids shouldn't watch it, then you can set that too. But if you don't, if you say it's not made for kids, but don't set an age limit, then there aren't people who can't watch it. If you set an age limit, then somebody is under 18 won't be able to watch it or whatever. Yeah, I probably won't be doing any wrestling vlogs. That wasn't really anything I was into. In terms of where the block feature, I can only see where it is on mine. But what you do is I roll my mouse over any particular comment, and on the right side of the screen, there's three little vertical dots that appear, and you click on that, and there's a pull down menu where you can block things. At least that's how it works for me. I don't know. Probably it might be different because I'm the admin here. I could block all of you if I wanted to, but what would be the point of that? Then there'd be no sense in me coming on here and doing these. What about the Alamo? Yeah, I might hit that at some point. That sounds like sounds like something I would enjoy doing. Oh man, I love typos. Some of the typos are funnier than the original comment. Greater Bilby just said, hover your mouse cursor over to the right, and one of the comments went, three little dogs appear. Oh, I love it. Usually, if it's a troll like that troll we had a minute ago, I'll block them and then no one sees them. Thank you, Diana. I appreciate you helping to spread the word. No, I'm not going to block any of you guys. You guys are great. Yeah, with Greater Bilby, I think dogs is funnier. Of course, it might be confusing because then you can have people looking and say, where's the dogs? I don't see any dogs. That's okay, Greater Bilby. You made me laugh. That's worth a lot. I don't know. I don't know. Did you send me a poem? If it's something you sent while we were online here, I haven't been doing anything except except paying attention to this. So if you sent me something while we're doing that, I'll have to check it out afterwards. And actually, I don't know if the trolls are coming out of the word work. We only really had one. I've had worse. There've been some of my earlier live streams. There were the 4 or 5 a day. Because what would happen is you'd block one, they'd switch to another account, and then keep it up. I mean, and it's the same person because they're saying the same thing. Yeah, that's scary when drones get in the way of real airplanes. That can be really bad because those things are big enough that they could take out an airplane like that. Some of the little drones are just made out of plastic and they'll just bounce off, but some of the more professional drones, they can be a problem. Oh, okay. If you're sending other stuff to the escaping the mouse, oftentimes I don't even look at that because that site is really just for recipes. So if I don't see like recipe stuff, a lot of times, it just ends up in the trash. Sorry, that's just I want to kind of keep that limited to that one thing. So, would you ever consider using a drone? Yeah, I would. I think it'd be fun to have one. In fact, I like I said, I got Christmas money to get me the new camera, and I got a little bit of money left over. I was halfway thinking about getting a drone with that because it would be fun to do it. I think I'd love to get some aerial footage. It'd just be a fun toy, I think. Yeah, yeah, it's bad idea because yeah, I mean, because it's illegal to do that, so it's no surprise that they would hide they're doing it. But that's just seems like it's an option for terrorism too. You fly one of those things into an airplane, you load it up with explosives, and yeah, yeah, some of the big drones are big. The consumer ones, are maybe 20 inches in diameter, but even those are big enough that they could do some damage if they hit like a helicopter or something. But some of the really huge ones, yeah, that's bad. Thanks, Robert. Yeah, I'll definitely talk to him. In fact, I was going to talk to him before because I owe him a telephone call, so I may talk to him after the live stream here. I just sent him a text before we went live and told him I was going to live stream because he sometimes likes to watch, but doesn't look like he replied. Sometimes what he'll do is he'll turn the phone off or something like that. Yeah, those drones can be scary. Like I said, and there's so much legislation coming down now to maybe outlaw them or severely limit them. So I don't know. They are dangerous, so who knows? Might be one of those things you have to get a license to do at some point. Anyway, we've been going for like more than 2 hours now, so I think I'm going to end this here. Thank you everyone for watching, and my new video will be up in about 3 hours. And thank you, Nancy. I appreciate you praying for my parents. They're both doing all right, but like I said, my father's in the hospital again. We're not sure exactly what happened, but he seems to be on the mend, and hopefully he'll be home soon. So. Um, Anyway, I think that's all I have. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and I'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.